Our next guest is Lisa McKnight. She's the SVP and Global Head of Barbie and Dolls at Mattel. Lisa leads a global team in brand strategy, product development, and marketing execution. In 2019, she expanded the Mattel doll portfolio with the launch of Creatable World, the first gender-inclusive doll line, which challenges the traditional views around who a doll is created for. And she may tell us a little bit about the Mattel Playroom. Our back to school study shares with us that parents and especially moms are at a breaking point in multiple emotional and mental aspects, and they're in need of more time saving and better toolboxes. So we're hoping that we get some more ideas from Lisa. Welcome.
Great, thanks for having me.
Lisa, how are you?
Rob and I had some fun times together working on Creatable World. And like he said, he's been providing great counsel for companies, including Mattel. So good to see you, Rob.
Awesome. Lisa, let's just get right into the meat with you. Barbie's pivot during the pandemic, how would you describe it?
Well, you know, it's really interesting. Barbie's success is, and Barbie's at her best when she connects to culture. So we've been pivoting and doing things with Barbie that reflects what we're all doing, which is kind of interesting. You know, we've been working really hard to make sure that Barbie, the brand, the toy, our content is providing comfort for kids at home and providing valued entertainment for kids so parents can also catch a break. It's interesting, we've done some exciting work with first responders. We launched a Thank You Heroes program where when you buy a doll, we give a doll to Children of the First Responders Foundation, and those dolls are dolls that are role model dolls honoring a lot of these real heroes, whether they're doctors, nurses, firefighters, chefs, etc. So that's been an exciting program. You know, on social, Barbie's been wearing a mask and you know, trying to, you know, be relatable and a responsible role model. She's been trying out new skills and hobbies. She's participated in all the challenges that many of us have been doing on social. She's baking bread. She's doing the fashion pillow challenge. And then she's also talking to girls through our YouTube channel about how to make sense of this time and this new routine. And, you know, again, providing entertainment, but also I like to say teachable moments as well for kids. So they know they're not alone in, you know, how they're feeling right now.
What about purchasing trends? What are you seeing out there? I think, you know, with the first two, we kind of went very high level and macro trends. Just to get a little nerdy for the people that are watching, you know, a little under the data, anything you can share around purchasing trends that you're seeing?
Yeah, happy to, Gary. You know, it's been an interesting roller coaster ride, I'm sure, for many of us. At the beginning of the pandemic, doll sales were down. A lot of parents were choosing puzzles and games, family games, and you know,
I'm sorry, I want to be a little business nerdy here. So you were thinking in your part of the woods, but the board games and games business unit were trying to figure out how to make more while you were trying to figure out how to get people to buy.
Exactly. So I was cheering on my buddies, you know, that are leading those divisions, but I was also like, oh my God, what are we going to do with dolls? And so that's what's fun about Mattel is, of course, we've got a portfolio of types of categories of products. But yeah, so in the beginning, parents were loading up on more family activities, if you will. And then a few months ago, they started leaning into more traditional toy categories like dolls, vehicles, you know, we've got the Hot Wheels brand and so forth. And what we're seeing with dolls, which is exciting, is not only are our sales up dramatically, I have to share, across many aspects of the Barbie line, but also we're selling a ton of our dream house. And I think it's because it's a higher ticket item that's normally purchased around the holidays, but because kids aren't having birthday parties, families unfortunately aren't going to, you know, theme parks and doing those types of trips, they need entertainment for their kids. And so items like our dream house we call it open-ended play. And they're really great for storytelling and imagination, and parents are leaning into those sorts of toys. So we're happy to see it. We're happy to see Barbie rebound.
Anything that has come from social listening from the rebound? Like, you seeing anything from feedback from consumers around female empowerment, education, escapism, to your point, like anything from like a consumer response over the last 90 days that's fascinating to you?
Well, I will say that, certainly we've all been around, the systemic racism in this country and frankly in the world. And Barbie's always stood for female empowerment. But now we're appreciating that there are even more barriers for Black girls than just girls in general that are preventing them from realizing their dreams. So we are pivoting some of our girl empowerment programs to lean more into the Black community. Make sure that we're providing not only good role models for them, but that we're driving awareness for some of the issues that they're facing. And we're looking at fundraising programs. We're looking at featuring more Black lead characters in our content. So all girls see themselves through the brand. But that's been a definite, I would say, new emphasis on the work we've been doing based on social conversation.
Any historically, this is a little bit nerdy for me. Historically, is back to school a bump, a decline, because parents are scared that their kids are going to get excited about their new toy? What is historically back to school for dolls?
Yes, back to school is usually what we like to say. It's sort of the beginning of the holiday season, sort of pre-holiday. So it's when retail activity absolutely picks up. People are in store, obviously, to buy apparel, footwear, and school supplies, but we'll get the benefit of some impulse purchases. So it's the beginning of a buildup, which of course accelerates in the fourth quarter.
The Mattel Playroom, I've seen some stuff about it, but I don't have a lot of context. Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, I'm really proud of what we're doing at Mattel. Like I said earlier, we've got a portfolio of brands and we span across all these different categories of toys. And, as the pandemic really, kicked in, we found that there was a need to reinforce the importance of play and to let parents know that that's not something you should feel guilty about. It's a good thing. It creates normalcy for your kids. And we wanted to give parents a hub, which we're calling the Mattel Playroom, which is sort of a one-stop shop toolbox of activities and entertainment and content and stuff they can do with their kids to keep them engaged and to keep them stimulated during this time.
Now I'm going I apologize to the audience in advance. I'm going very selfish. Lisa, I'm a hardcore collector, flipper, yard sailor, garage sailor. Right now I'm obsessed with sports cards. I think they're the top 5% is the next contemporary art. I have a whole thing brewing on that. But awesome. one of the great finds of my life, garage sailing, was it was a town-wide garage sale, and this individual house let people go into their home. They were like fully moving, and like it was an estate sale. And like the thrill, the hunt is the whole game. And I mean, I can literally feel it right now. I open a drawer, like in a bedroom, and there are like 4 early 1960s Barbies, and I lost my mind, and I got them for a great price, and it was super, super fun. What is the secondary market, the collectibility aspect? What kind of impact does that have on the brand when you are part of a brand that does have collectibility and secondary market dynamics? If you were to make a limited run with one of your retail partners and then 5 minutes later it's 3 times the price on eBay, like what is that dynamic that a lot of brands don't deal with that I'm sure you do?
Yeah, we are so honored to have such passionate fans and collectors. And this is a brand that spans 6 decades. So there's a lot of people that have grown up with Barbie. As well as new fans. We do a million different things. I mean, we love connecting with our collectors at an annual collector convention. We always create unique dolls for that special group. We love auctioning off one-of-a-kind dolls at various events. And we love, like you said, bringing back repros of fan favorites. We had a lot of fun reproducing the original Barbie last year when it was her 60th anniversary. We've got a couple big anniversaries for the brand coming up next year. I'm not going to spoil that, but more repros of those dolls coming. And it's fun. It's fun to see the memories that we're creating, the nostalgia that's unlocked. You know, we like to view Barbie as a blank canvas for self-expression, and I think a lot of people identify with that.
What did you have to do a lot of homework on history coming into this brand or when you entered it?
Yeah, I mean, what's amazing about Mattel is we do have a lot of people that have been at the company for 20 plus years, and I'm one of them. We've got a lot of designers that have been with the company for over 20 years. So there is a good sense of continuity and knowledge, but absolutely, certainly don't know everything. And we've got archivists. We've got a ton of books that have been published about the brand. And so I am actually always learning something new. You know, speaking about the Black community, we're learning more and more about some amazing Black designers that worked on the brand years ago. And actually this year is the 30th anniversary of the first Black Barbie. And that's really interesting to point to, as well as think about what that was like at that time and, you know, how progressive Barbie actually was and has been throughout the years.
I love it. Thank you so much for the insights, Lisa.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course.